I'm excited to show you the vehicle behind me right here. This is the all-new, from the ground up, 2024 Chevrolet Trax 2RS. Let's go have a look. All right, so first and foremost, the beautiful color that we're looking at right here is called Cayenne Orange Metallic. It is a very sharp looking color. It does have a little bit of metallic in there as well. Now, what you're gonna see in this one is you are going to have LED daytime driving lights, LED headlights here as well. Obviously, there is a ton of changes on this Trax from the outgoing model. They've made it to be a little sleeker, a little longer, a little wider, and definitely to handle more like a sedan. That is what they're going after. And this trim is one of the two highest end trims between the Active, and this is what they call the 2RS. There is a 1RS, and I'll explain a little bit of the difference as we go along here, but this is the 2RS. What does that mean? Well, first and foremost, that means you're getting these beautiful 19-inch aluminum wheels wrapped around with Pro Contact Continental tires. Very good tire there. You're also going to get some of the black accents, of course, to make it look more sporty. You got the black grille out front here, the black bow ties, not to mention the black mirror caps, and even the black up here for the cross rails. Inside, there's a lot of differences as well. We're going to get to that here, obviously, momentarily as well. But let's talk about what's underneath the hood. Another change here. So the standard engine and only engine available is a 1.2 liter 3-cylinder turbo producing 137 horsepower, 162 pound-feet of torque. Very capable little engine that is in this small compact vehicle. As far as the dimensions are concerned, as I mentioned, it's longer, and it is longer to the tune of 11 inches. So we're gonna have 11 inches here, a 6-inch longer wheelbase, all right? It is also 2 inches wider, so you have a little bit better stance on this as well. And if you haven't already noticed so, it is definitely got, I think it's either 4 or 5 inches lower in terms of the roof line. So again, it's giving you the capabilities, the abilities it's afforded from a you know, a smaller compact SUV, but with the handling, the style of what you're going to get in a sedan. So it's kind of a good mix, especially if you're coming out of a car, especially if you're coming out of maybe a Cruise or whatever, you want to bump up to the next one. All that being said, these vehicles start at $21,500, and you can get even up to the highest trim at $25,000 US. The pricing on these is fantastic for where you're going to get, and you're going to see more of that as we get inside. Let's stick with a little more of the dimensions here for a second. One more dimension that's also larger, which would make sense with everything we've talked about, is back out here. Actually, let's look at the taillights and stuff first. I love the design of the taillight trim. You have this black gloss down around here. You got the black Trax badging, and of course, the RS back here as well. Looks very, very sharp, obviously. Now, when we do pop this open, if you're a previous Trax owner, you're gonna see substantially more room back here. Actually, overall cargo room is increased by 6 cubic feet. I know it doesn't maybe sound like a lot, but it is a lot. And speaking of what something doesn't sound like a lot, and I can tell you firsthand, it does make a difference. 3 inches more legroom back here. 3 inches more legroom and knee room, pardon me, is massive. I'm 6'2". I had this seat set for myself, and there's still lots of legroom behind me. I could sit behind myself, which I definitely couldn't say that for the other Trax. I think I didn't like as much about the other Trax. It didn't fold down the seat that easily. You had a couple things you had to do in order for just the seat to fold down. So I like that better as well. Now, check out the RS stitching in here. So you have the red stitching along here, the red accent there as well. I wish you had the option for a red seatbelt. That'd be kind of cool, but I don't think that is an option, so it is what it is. But anyways, that's the back seat, and again, more room. You got some USB-C chargers back here as well. Heading to the front though, some things I like, of course, first and foremost, you have the red accents here along the vents. Of course, the RS here, badging the seats, the RS along here, the red here, the stitching, the piping, all in that red. I'm gonna sit here for a second, because another thing I really like is this steering wheel. It's got the flat bottom steering wheel, so the Active isn't gonna have that. It's got the gloss in the bottom with the squared off. It also has a heated steering wheel. If you look in front of us, also in the 2RS, so this is one of the differences between a 2RS and a 1RS, is the screen here. Fully programmable, fully digital, very clear. I love this screen. If you get a 1RS, or say an LS for an example, it's gonna have the analog gauges with a much smaller, just black and white digital gauge for some of your speed and things like that. The other difference is this here is going to have the 11-inch color touchscreen, which I love. The 1RS and the lower trim levels is going to have an 8-inch screen here, which actually still looks pretty good, but it is what it is. Also, we have the push button start in here. The lowest trim levels have a key start actually still, believe it or not, but they're still going to come with cruise. And actually, speaking of that, there's a ton of safety features to come standard, and one of those things, you know, front emergency braking. It's got IntelliBeam headlights was an option you could only get in Cadillacs at one point in time. It's standard right down to the LS trim in these Traxes, so I love that ability to have that. This of course is going to have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. It's also going to have all the Google integration and stuff obviously as well, but again, I love the looks of this screen. I think they did a great job with it, and again, to have that in a vehicle that potentially can get into under $25,000 is pretty remarkable. Obviously there's your climate control. You've got heated seats in this one. I think I already mentioned again, you have the heated steering wheel. You do have an option for a sunroof. This particular one doesn't have it. It's not a panel sunroof in this, it's just a single pane roof, but again, it's not an overly large vehicle, so I can understand why. There's your, again, RS here on that. And then it has that kind of black piano-like look here as well on the inside, and they finished it off here really well as well. I like that kind of just little attention to detail. I was talking with my co-driver when I drove one of these earlier, and he was noticing some of these things as well. And you know, there's the stitching over here in the seat also. So again, a fantastic vehicle at a very fantastic price as far as I'm concerned. Yes, I know it's still front wheel drive only, but you would be surprised what a set of winter tires will do if you are even in the north. Well, that's going to matter. Great fuel efficiency, tons of room, and listen, I mean, you can't deny it. This is a great looking vehicle as well. This is the 2024 Chevrolet Trax 2RS.